Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Live a Thousand Lives. My name is Janaea, and today we're going to be talking about my October wrap-up. So, let's get into this video, shall we? So I read a total of 7 books in the month of October, and 4 of those were audiobooks and 3 of them were regular books. So we're going to talk about, I'm showing you in order, so the first one I finished, the second one I finished, blah blah blah, in order, and I will give the star ratings and everything. So the first book that I read was Ramona Blue by Julie Murphy. So this is a story about Ramona, who is a teen-aged girl. She's in her senior year of high school, and she carries the weight of the world on her shoulders, and she thinks that she needs to take care of everyone, and basically she doesn't have much of a teen life, and she's also dealing with being confused about her sexuality. In the beginning she thinks she's a lesbian, but as the story goes on she's questioning that a little bit. So it's a great story. I absolutely adored this book so very much, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. And so the next book that I read in the month of October, well, I was going to say August, October, was Fairy After by Janie Lee Simner. So this story is the third in a trilogy, the Bone of Fairy trilogy, and I don't want to go too much into it because it is the third book in a series, but this series to me was phenomenal. It was easy to read, it was exciting, and it kept you wondering what was going to happen and if they were going to be able to save their friends and the world. And I mean, it was phenomenal. I absolutely loved it, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And so the third book that I read in the month of October was The Haunted Mask by R.L. Stine, part of the Goosebumps books. So I originally read this book as part of Spooky Shelfie bookathon through the month of October, and I had to pick something with a mask on the cover, had mask in the title, and I could not find anything because the one thing that I could find I have already read. So I got this book on audiobook and I listened to it, and I haven't read an R.L. Stine Goosebumps book since I was in high school, probably 15 or 16 years old. I am now 32, or almost 32, so it's been a long time, but I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was, it's a kid's book, but it was enjoyable. It was fun and lighthearted, but also trying to be scary, and it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and then I moved on to another audiobook, which was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. So I have been dying to reread Harry Potter for a while now, and so I decided to listen to them on audiobook, and let me tell you something, listening to Harry Potter on audiobook has been phenomenal. I absolutely fell in love with the story all over again, and it's just been a wonderful experience. So I am obsessed with audiobooks now. I did give this a rating, even though I have rated it and read it before, and it's still a 5 out of 5 stars. And so I don't know how else you can rate Harry Potter, but so the next book I read was an actual physical book, which was Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. So the story was really hard for me to get into at first. Like, the first 100 pages was super difficult for some reason, but once I got into it and got invested, I fell in love with the story. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars because it was super hard for me to get into. So that was that one. And the next book that I actually read and not just audiobook read was Night Circus by Erin Morgenstein. This book was also very hard for me to get into. It took me like 250 pages to be like totally engrossed in it and to fall in love with it. I got really confused because there was time jumps and I don't know. I was confused at first a lot. But I did end up falling in love with the characters, especially there's like 3. There's Bailey, and then there's Celia and Marco, and I fell in love with them. And then the twins, I love the twins. But anyway, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars as well because it was so hard to get into, but I ended up did truly enjoying this book. So the last book that I read in the month of October was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling. So I literally just finished this audiobook on Halloween, but it is phenomenal. I loved everything about listening to the Chamber of Secrets. I even liked listening to the Chamber of Secrets more than Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So I just feel like every book is gonna increase for me, and it's just gonna be a wonderful reading of Harry Potter, and I'm so excited for it. So that is my wrap up. I hope you enjoyed. Please like this video or ring the little bell, subscribe, and remember, a reader lives 1,000 lives, and so can you. Keep on reading.